Hey there, welcome to this episode of the Affluent Entrepreneur Show. And this episode, it's a little different because what I did was a live stream training. And this one was on the four maxims, the four money maxims that the wealthy use. And I wanted to broadcast this because I think it's important to get it to the broader community, to my audience, because here's the thing. A lot of people are coming to me and thinking that creating wealth is a complicated task. But it really isn't. When you understand the couple of things that consistently across all millionaires, across all billionaires, across all wealthy people that they do, and you bring those into your life, it moves you faster forward towards your financial destiny. So here's the deal. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Affluent Entrepreneur Show. It is alive, so enjoy it. I'll see you on the other side. Cheers. All right, so good to be here live with you. Hopefully you're doing well. This was a spontaneous live. I just got finished speaking and I wanted to do a live to talk about a couple things. And it came out of a question that came up from the community and all about wealth and how we deal with that. Because often I hear these conversations around, well, creating wealth and everything is complicated, especially in the current environment. And so I want to be able to have that conversation with you. I'm going to give you a framework because it ain't a training without a framework if it's from me. So we're going to give you a framework. It's what I call the wealth maxim matrix. When you look at wealthy people, when you look at people that have built wealth and you start to strip it down to what they did, you find that there's some commonalities. And when we string those commonalities together, we can create a framework. We can create a way to approach it. What are the things that they live by? And I think it's important for us to start to look at it from that perspective. Here's the thing. There was a study that came out by Fidelity that said 88%, almost 90% of millionaires are first-generation millionaires. So what does that mean? That means that they didn't inherit it. That means that it wasn't gifted to them. That means that they didn't win the lottery. Okay, they created it. They built it during their lifetime. Here's the beautiful thing: if 88% have done that, there's no reason you can't. See, I think financial freedom is your birthright. I truly believe that. And it's just a matter of us understanding the processes, the priorities, and the principles that you need to use to get there. See, wealth creation is less about money. It's more about habits and behaviors and how you show up and the things that you're doing on a consistent, persistent basis to make that happen. And when you do that effectively, now all of a sudden you will see that wealth accelerates. It's what I call money momentum that comes into play. And everything. So in this 2017 study, the other thing that came out of it was there was another study of 10,000 millionaires. The majority of the millionaires built their wealth on $100,000 or less. Okay, so the fact of the matter is that it doesn't take a lot to do this. It just takes an understanding. And so I want us to have a conversation. I want to start the conversation here. I want to walk through a framework with you, give you some things to consider, to do. We are in a volatile time. I don't even know where the market is today. But yesterday we had the fifth largest loss in the market in history. So here's the thing. But when you understand it, you can make money at it. I'm making money while the market's going down. It's kind of crazy. So one of the things to consider here is just that, is that what are the things that you need to do to create wealth? What are the things you need to do to keep wealth? What do you need to do to multiply wealth? Those are the things that I think start to drive the things that we want. So let's jump into this and let's just go through what I call the wealth maxim matrix. And we'll start, I'm going to jump to my iPad and you'll see it here. And we'll start with this, okay? There is the first thing that when you talk and you look at the wealthy, when you look at what they've done, there's the first thing that they've done is this, is they made a commitment. They made a commitment. And I mean a commitment to a financial journey. Now, that financial journey not only includes making money, but understanding money, understanding investing. That doesn't mean you're going to be some crazy financial analyst. Some people love that and they do that kind of nerdy like me. But that means that you at least understand it enough that you can get involved with it and you can be part of it. In the session that I just finished just a little bit ago, one of the keys that I told them is that you must be the captain of your ship. You must have your hands on the wheel. You can't relinquish it. You can't abdicate it. You can't give it away to an advisor or an advisor team. You must be the one that's steering the ship. Okay? So the commitment is the first maxim that they have, is that they've got a commitment to this journey. Now, there's three things, and I'm going to walk you through three things for each of these maxims so you understand how we break it down. There are three things that what we need to do is look at it through these eyes. Is that the first thing to have a commitment is that everyone has a vision and a plan. A vision and a plan. Now, one of the mistakes that we often make is that we either arbitrarily set a number out there, or we turn around and don't set a number out there. Either one of them is not good. Either one of them is not good, because what's going to happen is that now you set an arbitrary number out there. You don't even know why you're going after the number, and now all of a sudden you're in a situation where you're chasing a goal that isn't what you want. And so I think it becomes important for us to really start to understand how that will all play out. And so one of the first things is to create a vision. One of the first things that we do with the Affluence Blueprint with my clients, whether it doesn't matter whether they have millions or they're just starting out, one of the first things that we do with them is to sit back and say, hey, let's make sure that you know exactly where you're going. What does that look like for you? What is it that you want out of it? And remember, it says in here that it was a vision and a plan. Okay? Because now that we know the target, then we design the plan to make the target a reality. See, we don't want the vision just to be a dream. We want to live it. We want to make it a reality. So at the commitment level, that once they have that commitment, they're going to create the vision based on what they want. Not what society says, not what their parents say, not what the educational institutions say. What do you want? What do you want from your life? How do you want to experience it? How do you want to live it? It's your life. You get to choose. And let's create a plan to do that. Then the second piece of this is that once we have the vision and a plan, they will communicate. And people will go, what are you talking about, communication? Here's the thing. I hear these people say, oh, they're self-made. Yeah, no one's self-made. I hate to say it. I'm not self-made, okay? I am a product of you, my audience, the people I serve. I am a product of my upbringing. I am a product of my customers. I'm a product of my loved ones. I'm a product of my education. I'm a product of all those things. I'm not self-made. No one is self-made. But here's the thing. If you're in a committed relationship, an intimate relationship, it's important for you to communicate the vision, the plan, and the commitment to a financial goal so you're on the same page. I don't care if you're on the same line, same word, but I want you on the same page. See, when you have spouses that are not on the same page financially, it creates friction. It creates conflict. Do you know that the number two cause of divorce is money behind infidelity? Holy moly. It doesn't need to be. Money conversations in a relationship do not need to be divisive. They can bring you together. It's important for us to communicate that. Now, you may, even with as parents, we should be having these conversations. Too often we grew up in a time where we said, Talk about money is impolite. We've demonized money. No, 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 no. Money's a tool. Money's a tool no different than a screwdriver, a hammer, or a saw. It's how we use the tool. So we should be having conversations around it. I had conversations around money with my son starting when he was young. Not the worship of money, but how money can be used as a tool. A generosity, make a difference, to create a life, to do those things. So we need to communicate. Now, here's someone I want to introduce you to, because I think it's important for you to see what can happen when this is done. Right. This is Karina Kapoor. She was actually a guest on my show. And she ended up being a guest on my show because she sent me this DM. So she sends me this DM, and here's what it says. It says, and I'll read it to you. Hey, Mel, just want to drop you a line, let you know that your podcast has really sparked a lot of conversation between my husband and me. And it has been so good for us from not only a financial perspective, but a relationship perspective. We realized that we have two parallel success stories, but have not fully integrated them after being together more than 20 years. They were together 20 years. We've decided to break down the silos and really be team players for each other. Rather than rooting each other on from the sidelines, we both really love your take on family and entrepreneurship and how they need to work in harmony. Feels like after so long, we've had some sort of awakening. We even decided to go on a second honeymoon. All right. When we take the time to have conversations around money, not around the money, but around the vision for life, it brings you together. It doesn't separate you. And so the second piece of commitment is to commit to having those conversations, to have real conversations, not about money. Don't go in there and sit back and say, oh, you're spending this and you're spending that. That is divisive, okay? But have conversations around your life. Have conversations around the meaning and the desire to have a common vision. My wife and I, we just got back from 8 days in Portugal. One of our favorite things is to walk the streets of different cultures, experience people. We did a cooking class, experience cultures, meet people, and to share that together. It's a common vision that brings us together, and then the financial structure to support that vision comes into play. So what we need to do is have that communication around the vision before we have the communication around the money. So that leads me to number 3 in the commitment piece, and that is this, is that patience. Oh my gosh, especially right now. We are in such an instant gratification economy and society. It is ridiculous. And here's the fact of the matter. Your drive to build wealth goes like this. I'll draw this here. Okay. The curve goes like this. And I call this section here the wealth flat line. And this section is the acceleration zone. Most people don't build wealth because they don't have the patience to burn up the flat line. We have to use this up by consistently and persistently investing, savings, and building. So then when we get to that pivot point, our money keeps multiplying. It works harder for us than we did for it. But too often we quit too early. So patience. So that first maxim is commitment. It's about vision or plan. It's about communication. It's about patience. When we break that down, it's really about deciding. You simply got to make a decision. Do you want to be wealthy or not? Is it something you're going to choose or not? Is it something that you're interested in or committed to? When you become committed to it, you'll start making the right decisions. You'll start creating the right habits, start having the real conversations, and you'll start doing the right things. Okay? So that leads me to the next piece of this. And the next maxim is cash. Believe it or not, it is cash. The wealthy figure out how to make cash. And just like the first maxim of commitment, the second maxim has three things that we have associated with it involved. And that is the first is this. Getting really clear on their wants and needs. Here's the thing. This goes back to delayed gratification and instant gratification again. When you get clear on your wants and needs, you have the opportunity now to then define the excess cash and how you use that to build wealth. The problem is too often we confuse our wants as needs. Our needs are our survival. Roof over our head, food in our stomach, healthcare, clothes, transportation. Okay? They're not mani-pedis. They're not high fashion. They're not fast cars. They're not jewelry. Yes, I'm not saying not to get it. I'm just saying classify it properly. Those are wants. I get it. I want them too. We have them. But we don't confuse them and say they're needs. Okay? Because when we start to strip away and look at it and say, are these truly wants that we're getting benefit out of or not? And if we're not, we stop them. Here's the difference. When you start to look at how people live their lives, there is a group of people, most people, live their life this way. And this is what I call the wealth priority pathway. Most people, they make money, okay? And once they make money, they then turn around and spend the money. They live their lifestyle. They buy their stuff. They do the things that they want to do. And then once they're done with that, they look at what they have left over and they turn around and they invest what's left. Here's the problem with that. Do you realize that all you're investing is the scraps? I don't want to build a financial future on scraps. I want to make it a priority. The wealthy will make investing a priority. And the way they do that is they reverse this. They'll look at this and say, yeah, great, we made money. But before we spend the money, we turn around and we say, I'm going to invest money first, spend later. Invest money first, spend later. Now, here's the beautiful thing. They also look at it and say, well, wait a second. If this doesn't give me the lifestyle I want today, we don't take away from wealth. We look back to how we make money and say, can we make more money to give us the wealth we need tomorrow and the lifestyle we want today? And the answer is yes, but we need to do it deliberately, intentionally, and with purpose. And so when you start to look at wealth and wants and needs, it's about making investing the priority versus lifestyle. Okay. So that's wants and needs. That starts to then give you then the second piece of what drives the wealth maxim. And that is this. Let me go back to the iPad. And that is this, is income scale. The wealthy are really good at finding opportunities to create income. Opportunities to create income. Listen, the market dropped 1,300 points. It was the worst drop in, depending on which market you compare to, in 5 years or 7 years. Yet, when the market dropped, I still made money in the market because I understand how to make money no matter what is going on. Okay. So we need to be able to income scale. We need to be able to do it. Might be a side hustle. It might be an online thing that you're doing. Bottom line is that the more we can create additional income, the more we can accelerate our path to wealth, the more we can burn up the flatline, the wealth flatline zone to move us into the acceleration zone. Hopefully that starts to make sense. Okay. Then the third piece of this cash is this. The wealthy don't care what the Joneses are doing. I mean, you've heard the saying of keeping up with the Joneses. Here's the problem with keeping up with the Joneses. The Joneses are broke. Listen, We live in a society where people are parading their perfect life, their facade of a perfect life on social media, on Pinterest, on Instagram, on Facebook, on, I don't know, all the different social media platforms, and we're comparing ourselves. It's driving us crazy, and we're buying stuff we shouldn't be buying. We're doing things that we don't even want to do. I found myself swiping and buying stuff. Wait a second. Ugh. So point being is that there's no reason to buy things that you weren't intending to buy. Just because the neighbor buys a Denali or a Tahoe, you need to go and buy a Denali. I'm not in competition. I'm going to live my life my way. If that's a tent in Montana or a yacht in Monaco, that's my choice, and I get to do it my way. We don't keep up with the Joneses. We don't care what other people are doing. Stay in your lane. The wealthy will do that. They don't make their decisions, their life decisions, their investing decisions, or their buying decisions based upon what the people around them are doing. They have the vision and the plan, and they live true to the plan. Okay, that leads me to the third maxim in the Wealth Maxim Matrix, and that is this. Oh, if this is deciding, this is earning. Okay, but the third is savings. Savings. They're actually putting money away. Here's one of the things that's important when you start to build this out, is to realize that one of the most important numbers you need to understand is your savings rate. This is how much as a percent of your income are you putting away into investments on an ongoing basis. Now, in the Affluence Blueprint, we have a thing called the Wealth Priority Ladder that gives you a hierarchy of what to do with your cash when. Because we don't just start investing if we have debt. There's some specific criteria to do that. But in a nutshell, what is important, what drives everything, is your income and your savings rate. What percentage of your income are you saving and putting away for the future, to build the future? Now, I'm going to tell you that I think that depending on where you're on and your age and stage in life, you should be somewhere between 15 and 25%. 15 and 25%. Now, you might be sitting back going, oh, hell, there's no way, Mel. There's no way I can do 15 to 25%. I'm barely paying my bills. Well, now you have a goal. Now you have a target. Income scale, wants and needs, figure it out and start to push it back. Because until you start to make that a priority, until you start to build that in there, it's going to be a challenge. So they watch their savings rate. The wealthy will look at it and look at their savings rate. And then they'll do a second thing here. And that is this. They will build margin into their life. And what I mean by this is that space, financial space. They're not living to the edges of their check every single month, or beyond their check, worse, every single month. They aren't allowing their lifestyle to creep with their income. When their income goes up, look, you get the vision and plan for your life. This is the life you want. Yes, you can increase the life. But before you do that, let's look at, can we income scale, build more margin, and accelerate our wealth? So wealthy people during this savings piece of the Wealth Maxim Matrix, they will build margin. So there's three things that happen. One, they have a cushion if something goes wrong. Health issue, economic issue. Look, we are in a volatile time in our economy, recession, all those things. Having margin is helpful. Okay. 2, it's the margin that allows you to then increase or accelerate your wealth creation. Okay. Increase and accelerate your wealth creation. And 3, psychologically, it gives you peace of mind. You feel better because you know that you're not living at the end. You're not sitting back every month going, I hope there isn't more month than money. I hope that I have more money than month. Oh, I hope that doesn't go down. No, we want to give you peace of mind. So you build margin into it to make that happen. Okay. And then the third piece of savings is this. They make it automatic. Here's the deal. We need to take the friction out of our savings and investing. We need to take the choice out of it. See, credit card companies are really good at doing that. Marketers are really good at it. There's a reason that you can go into a store with your phone and go tap, buy, swipe, buy. They're taking the friction out of the buying decisions. They make it easy for you to buy. We need to make it easy for us to invest, easy for us to create wealth, easy for us to build wealth. And the way you do that is you automate it. You set it on automatic. So when money comes in, a certain percent will automatically go to a high yield cash account. A certain percent will automatically go into investments. A certain percent, it's that savings rate, will automatically. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to push the buttons. You don't have to schedule it. You don't have to send it. You don't have to write a check. It is automatic. It is on automatic. And then all of a sudden, your wealth creation is on autopilot. You're going to burn through the wealth flat line. You're going to get into the acceleration zone. You're going to wake up one morning and go, whoa, what happened? How'd that number get so big? Okay. And so this is the thing that I think that we need to look at in making this happen. So that is savings. Now I see a question that came in. I want to make sure I answer it. My dear friend, Rex Anderson. Rex, thank you for being here, my friend. So he says, so how many months of monthly expense budget do we need to have in ready cash reserves? Here's the thing. There are those people out there that are going to say 3 to 6 months. I think it's too short. I have said this even before the pandemic, before we're in this. I actually think that you need 9 to 18 months. So call it 12 months. You need some room, especially if you're an entrepreneur, because we have peaks and valleys in our income generating and everything. Now, if your living expenses are much lower than your revenues, you may not need as much because you have that margin in there if there's a decline in revenues. But if you're tight on that, then I need to build margin. I need to build that. And I like to see 12 months, 9 to 18 months, depending on your age and stage and the kind of business. Now, I know it takes time. You're not going to get it overnight, but we do it persistently and systematically over time. That gives you the margin and the space. The average recession lasts 11 months. So if we are in a recession, let's make sure that we have enough to carry us through that. Okay? Great question. All right, that leads me to maxim number 4. Maxim number 4. And this one is about keeping it. Okay. So deciding, earning, keeping, and maxim number 4 is time in. What do you mean? See, I will get asked a question at least a couple times a week. Is now a good time to invest? Oh. If truly the curve for wealth creation does this, the sooner we can burn this little piece up, the better off we are. That means that time in the market is more important than timing the market. That means get in the game. Get in the game. Stay in the game. Don't get out of the game. Your investments are for the long term. In the short term, they're going to go up and down. But in the long term, markets go up 8 out of 10 years. Now, we might be in a 2-year drought. Who knows? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But I do think that we're in for some fun roller coaster rides. Okay? So we can't make our decisions, our long-term decisions, based on short-term issues. So we're going to invest long-term. Get in the game. Time in the game is more important than timing the game. It has been shown, statistics have shown, that even the most sophisticated investors cannot continually beat the market long-term. They might beat it in a year, 2 years, maybe 3, but not in the long term. So if they can't figure out when to buy and when to sell, we certainly aren't. So the point is to stay in the game. So knowing, and when you do that, there's a couple things that they know. One is they know the difference between investing and trading. Investing is a long-term pursuit. It is putting it in there for the long-term growth, knowing it's going to go up and down. Trading is a job. And I do both. And trust me, when I'm in a trade that I know I'm in it for, yesterday I was in a trade simply for a couple hours. Make 5 figures, move on. But during that trade, it's a stressful time. You're watching the market go up and down, going, So trading is very different than investing. I'm talking about investing for you long term. Okay? Investing for you long term. Okay? Time in the market. Here's the other thing that they know. They know that now is the best time to start. If you didn't start yesterday, if you didn't start a week ago, if you didn't start before that, then now is the best time to start. Get in the game. The sooner we get in the game, the sooner we use up the flat line. The sooner we get money momentum, the sooner we get the money to work harder for us than we did for it. We have to get in the game. If we don't get in the game, we're never going to win the game. You can't win the game from the sidelines or from the stands. You've got to be on the field. So now is the time to get in the game. Now, that doesn't mean you go and invest. That means that you follow sound principles, priorities, and processes to make that happen. If you're unsure about that, if you're unsure of what it is, one of the things that I am doing coming up, actually starting tomorrow, is a special deep dive training. Okay, it's called the Affluent Entrepreneur Experience. Okay, I'm going to go deep dive. I'm going to give you process. I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to give you frameworks. I'm going to give you all that stuff. It's totally free. If you want to get there, if you want to be part of it, do me a favor. Just go to theaffluencelive.com and grab a spot. Grab a spot, join me tomorrow. Let's go deeper on some of these things. Let's make this happen so you have the ability to make that happen. Affluencelive.com. Let's do this thing together. Now, the last piece of this is this. The wealthy also understand that they need a team. I have a wealth team. I don't do this. As much as I know this, I don't do it all on my own. I need someone to go to check my thinking. When the emotions get away, when the market's dropping 1,100 points, to call and go, hey, should I jump off the edge? What are we doing? To get them to give me perspective, to give me access. So I have a team, but here's the most important thing. They are a team to assist me, not to do it for me. I will make all the decisions, but they're focused on my vision and the plan that we started with. They're committed just the same. And now it's about executing the plan to hit the vision and to keep me in space. So it's about having a team. It's about having a community. It's about having a safe place to have real conversations around money, around wealth, around your journey, no matter how tough, difficult it is right now. Here's what I know. Principles transcend time. Principles transcend geography. Principle transcend whatever's going on right now in the economy. And when we use principle, they are universal systems of behavior. It will change the results in the long term. I get it. You may sit back and say, I'm not sure where to even start. That's great. You don't have to be sure where to start. We can help you make that happen. Get involved in the communities. Have the conversations. Have real conversations around money. Not with someone that's biased by trying to sell you investments or insurance or anything of an investment. I don't have that to sell you. I simply want to sell you on the possibility of your dreams, the probability of it happening, to educate you, empower you, and give you the tools to make that happen. It's the reason I have the show, the Affluent Entrepreneur Show. It's the reason I'm doing the special training starting tomorrow called the Affluent Entrepreneur Experience. I want you to join me there. I want you to be there with me so we can make this happen. It's the reason that I do what I do today, because I want to make sure that you claim your birthright. And I truly believe that financial freedom is a birthright. We just aren't taught how to claim it. I want to help you. Let's do this, and let's do it together. So that's the wealth Maxim matrix. I think it's something for us to consider. There's some things in there to make that happen, and I look forward to it. It doesn't matter what's happening. Listen, whatever's going on in the economy right now, it doesn't need to be your economy. It doesn't need to be your recession. It doesn't need to be your bear market. It doesn't need to be your future. You get to define it. You get to choose it. You get to do it the way you want to do it. And if I can help, I'd be blessed. It would be a gift to me because it allows me to serve, which is what I'm here to do. So I hope that this helps. I wanted to make sure that I got this out, given the question that came in, and maybe help give you perspective, lend you a path, give you an idea of what you can do next, and then invite you to go on a journey with me. You know, it's totally free. Join me at affluencelive.com and let's make it happen together. Okay. I look forward to it. All right. If you have questions or anything that comes up now, before, after, reach out to me. Reach out to me and let's make it happen together. Okay. I want to make sure that you have a place to go, a safe place to have conversations, and a place to make a difference in your life. Your financial destiny is in your hands, and let's give you the tools to mold it just the way you want. Thank you, and God bless you.